Hey everybody, it's time for some barbecue chicken wraps with apple sauce, super seasonal. Don't have to use wraps. You could do these on buns, you could do them plain, you could use your barbecue chicken, you could make barbecue chicken bowls, and then even on your little menu sheet, there's some, about making lunch salads with the barbecue chicken or bowls. Also, you could use the barbecue chicken in this to make, at the very top of our menu, the pizza sliders. You can make a barbecue chicken pizza slider recipe as well. So, or just regular pizza also would work. So there's a lot of choices with this. So because of that, the meat is bumped up a little bit on this meal, on the recipe. So it's got about 3 pounds of meat. So if that is too much for you, I would say cut everything in half or make it and then just freeze it either in the gallon or the quart-sized freezer bags so that you have it for multiple uses later, okay? So with that being said, there's a couple of choices with this. You can either choose to just meal prep your chicken and make your chicken and then freeze it in bags, or you can, like I am going to eat tonight and then I'm going to use the leftovers for different things. So that's an option. But with that, you could leave your chicken pieces whole and you could grill them. That's another option if you are still grilling and want to do it that way. Absolutely go ahead and do it. They're going to be ooey and gooey. Think like barbecue drumsticks. That's how they're going to come out. They're going to be delicious. We had them like that the other weekend. The other options is to use your multi-cooker, either on the slow cook setting or on the poultry pressure cook setting. And that's how you're gonna get this meal done in less than 30 minutes. So one of those ways. So think about when you are putting your stuff in your bowl, or if you're gonna just bag and freeze everything for a later date, how you might want to use them, and then, go from there. So just a couple things we need for this recipe. I'm gonna do bowl instead of bag because I'm gonna show you the rest of the steps. We're gonna use our garlic press, and then we're either gonna use measuring cup or spoon, or this, I think I've shown you guys this before, this cute little measuring scoop. It measures 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons, 1 tablespoon, and 2 tablespoons. So I kind of like it because it's got that 2 tablespoon option. Okay, so whenever you're cooking right in a bowl, you always want to start with your oil. Just coats the bottom. If you're doing bag, no problem. You just throw everything in, and then as it thaws, the liquid will just go. So the reason why we do oil first on the multi-cooker base is you don't want your chicken to stick to the bottom and it'll get burned if it does. So sometimes if that sticky chicken on the bottom, it does stick. Just trust me, it sticks. Okay, so then I'm gonna add my chicken, and I'm not going to trim these at all. I am going to shred them afterwards, and during that time, if there's any big pieces that need to be trimmed off, I just do it at that time. But they are looking pretty good. So I got a good pack of chicken. That's always nice. Okay, let me toss that. Okay, I have a rag. Okay, and then for topping our chicken, I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of salt. So I've done that enough that I know about a teaspoon, okay? And then we're using our smoky applewood rub. Fun fact, there's about 7 tablespoons in this jar. So the recipe is designed to use about half, and then you'd have the other half to use later, okay? Or if you've done some of our other menus, you'll see this one again. So there's that. Okay, now we're gonna do our garlic. And these are very massive pieces of garlic. So I don't need as many. Okay. I got lots of good garlic stuck out the end. Okay, and one more. And you guys obviously do these, to your family's preferred taste. If you really like garlic, find the massive ones, or add, extra. If you just want this, good seasoning, 2-ish is a good amount. All right, so there's our garlic. And I'm just going to make sure that's all in there. So there we go. We're up to this. We got oil, chicken, salt, seasoning, and garlic. And now we're just gonna add a few other things. So these are our chopped onions. And put those in. And then we're gonna add our orange juice. With this, you could easily, if you don't have orange juice on hand, you could squeeze your oranges. About 2 oranges would be what you would need if you want to freshly juice them. If you have orange juice on hand, obviously that's easier, just grab that. And then we've got our barbecue sauce. Okay. So now, now you would either seal your bag, you would double bag, put your recipe in between, or in this case, I'm gonna go ahead and cook this. Because these were fresh chicken breasts, I can put it right on that poultry setting, and in about 20 minutes, this will be finished and ready to eat. If this was a frozen meal and it was completely frozen, I could still use my multi-cooker, but I would up that time just a little bit, either 25 or 30 minutes, depending on the size of the, the pressure cooker that you are using. So that is the prep of the meal. I'm gonna let this cook and I will be back with next steps. Hey there, everybody. Okay, our chicken is done. So I'm gonna tip you down and let you see. I just took the lid off. Okay, and so here, this is the multi-cooker. And this was 20 minutes on the poultry setting, and hopefully we can see this okay. I just wanna show you guys though, this is the quick shred. Like, I'm hardly even, pushing into this, and it is just like falling apart in here. And so you don't need to use another pan. You can simply just shred your chicken, and you can just kind of keep going for as small as you would like. So it's pretty big still, but these are super handy tools because you can just do this right in the pot. If you don't have these, 2 forks would work. It will just take you a little bit longer. And so here is our barbecue chicken for our wraps. So next, we're heading over to make coleslaw, and then we'll put these all together. So the cool thing I love about this, I'm gonna shred this. I'm actually just gonna put the lid back on it, which is really nice because then it just keeps everything nice and warm. And there is a keep warm setting as well. So, you don't need to dirty anything else. You just leave it here until you're ready to do something with it. So, all right. We are up to the point of making our coleslaw and then putting everything together. And so if you have fresh cabbage or have access to it, you absolutely could do that. But in the event of keeping this meal at 30 minutes or under, we're just gonna go ahead and use store-bought coleslaw mix. And then I would mix this, just kind of based on what your family will eat, right? So if you have a lot of people that are gonna eat a ton of coleslaw, obviously make a lot. If not, just make half the recipe, okay? So we're just gonna add that to our bowl here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna add our apples. This is gonna give this such a fun crunch. And I'm gonna use the cheese grater. But if you don't have this, you definitely could just dice and slice this. But I'm just gonna do this super fast. And you want about a cup, per bag. But it's all a little bit to taste in terms of you want more apple in there. Definitely add it. So, okay. So we're gonna just add this into our bowl. And I've got these little tongs here, which I will use for mixing. Obviously scraping and serving. So now we will just make our dressing real quick. And that is gonna be really easy. It's just our mayonnaise. Okay, and this little silicone bowl, I love for mixing dressings. And we have got we're gonna add a little bit of apple cider vinegar. If you would happen to not have apple cider vinegar on hand, you definitely can use other types of vinegar. I would just recommend like a white or maybe a white wine for this recipe. You're gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper, and then you are just gonna mix that. Okay, and after you've made this from scratch, you're gonna wonder why you ever bought coleslaw dressing, just, you know, in the past, because it's so easy. If you do use full fat mayonnaise, which I do, sometimes it's a tiny bit thick, so I'll just add a touch of water. Okay, like maybe a teaspoon, just to thin it out a little bit. There we go. So then it just coats our coleslaw a little bit better, okay? So coleslaw, okay, and then we've got our dressing, and we're gonna use our tongs to mix, and then also to serve. I can smell these apples, they're so yummy. Okay, so there is your coleslaw. Okay, now for pulling everything together, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the pot out of here. Okay, and this has been done for just a touch, but remember there's that keep warm setting on there, and so it'll just keep this warm. You can see, I think it's still steaming hot. Here's another tongs. This is the small chef's tongs, and so this, as it cools, it won't get quite as liquidy, but if you wanted to pre-drain, you know, and put it in a serving bowl, you could. Otherwise, I'm simply going to take, this is a tortilla, flour, use corn if you would like, use buns if you would like. Okay, and then we're just gonna add that barbecue chicken to this. We're not gonna fill it super full because eat your veggies, right? We're gonna add a bunch, you know, a chunk of coleslaw, and this obviously is to taste. And then you're gonna wrap, you know, just kind of wrap that up. And there you go, your barbecue chicken apple slaw wraps. So I guess if you didn't put quite as much coleslaw, it would close better. So here's the other thing. So you're gonna have this as is, fresh veggies. If you followed any of our meal prep tips for, you know, cutting and having your veggies fresh in the fridge, this is a great time to just pull some of those out. Throw some chips or sweet potato chips on the side. But then this chicken, after you have had dinner with this again would be really great for barbecue chicken salads. You could use it for barbecue chicken pizza or barbecue chicken pizza sliders. It'll also be really great. You could do a barbecue chicken bowl with rice and vegetables. And so definitely use your leftovers to make your lunch prep really easy for the rest of the week. The other option is if you just don't quite have the time for that, after you've had dinner, you could just refreeze the barbecue in smaller bags, the barbecue chicken, and you would have it for other days in terms of wraps or bowls or whatever you wish. So there should be plenty of extra here for you to eat for a couple days. Hope you guys enjoy and love this recipe and use it over and over. We'll see you soon.